At The Defender, we're building great leaders one leader at a time. On your path to becoming a great leader, you're going to find that it's very important to ensure that you're communicating effectively with your team, to ensure that you're all focused on the same objectives, that you are aligned, and that you understand ultimately what the end game is. I'm Gregory Wade, you're watching The Defender. I've led large global organizations as well as startups and small companies. I've found that communication is at core of ensuring that you are focused in on achieving those common objectives. I've often found as well that a lack of communication really does set aside those leaders who actually excel at what they do and those leaders who actually stick their heads in the sand and kind of ignore the facts and ignore the trajectory of the company. One of the most important experiences in my background related to how much time I spent overseas ensuring that our teams are coordinated and that we were better connected back into headquarters. At one point in time, I actually ended up in a situation where the results of some common surveys or conducted within the company identified that there were low engagement levels relative to my team and how they saw leadership back at HQ. I actually looked through the details and realized what the company was saying, what the employees were saying, is that the leaders at the top simply were not communicating effectively and on a timely basis. They were actually sticking their heads in the sand. Now, this was all despite the fact that there was a weekly session every Monday, but guess what? It was unidimensional. It was one way. It didn't involve a two-way interaction with leadership getting feedback and input and perspective, and nor did it even allow the leaders the opportunity to be able to provide context in terms of what was happening with the company, good, bad, or indifferent. I can tell you there are a whole bunch of tools out there to ensure that you can actually accurately and consistently interact with your teams. One of the things that I've found is that I do find that collaboration tools like Slack and Teams by Microsoft really do help to kind of close the gap in terms of communication. At the same time, as a leader or an aspirational leader, you want to make sure that you have a regular cadence to your communication, whether that's town halls, whether that's fireside chats, whether that's just blogs and information that you send out to the team on an internal basis on a regular basis. The other is, I think a lot of leaders as well, and you've heard me talk about the CEO of NASDAQ in the past, use social media as well to connect with your employees, give them a sense in terms of what you're trying to accomplish, again, on a consistent basis. At the end of the day, if you are a leader or you're an aspirational leader, it's important that you don't hide in the sand. Don't stick your head in the sand. And I've seen this time and time again. And it's really unfortunate, really disappointing to see those leaders who just don't have the confidence within themselves to put themselves out there to ensure that there's consistency, there's good sound communication, and there's collaboration across your organization, across teams. Don't just take it from me. Take a look at what Catherine Johns as well has also said. Catherine's a great author, speaker, and coach, and she recently commented as well on the power of collaboration, or in fact, actually she kind of challenged the baseline for collaboration, but it was a great discussion that ultimately led to the point where, you can both use technology, tools, services, and systems, but there's nothing better as well than having that two-way interaction, that face-to-face interaction to make sure that you're challenging yourself, you're getting a pulse in terms of the organization, and you're helping to make sure that you're providing guidance, ensuring that everyone is on track and aligned to your overall objectives. I'm Gregory Wade, you're watching The Defender.